now we're going to jump to the Q&A section. So there's a lot of great questions. Let me look through what are the question I'm going to pick first. All right. So first question. I am a student and I'm in the final year. I was doing few internships about sales and marketing because it's easy to find. But I want to be an HR professional. So I'm looking for my first job in HR field. What will be your advice for me? My major is about, right now, is about administration. It's not a typical in HR field. If you want to share me what are the skill set probably I need to build for that, will be very valuable. Her name is Chang. She's from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam.
I'm always glad to hear that someone's interested in working in HR. Look, I would say it's great that you're getting experience, and don't underestimate the value of transferable skills. So I mentioned that before, but the ability to pick up skills in one working environment, or even in a different working functional team. Skills that you're learning there, you will bring across into a HR role very easily. It's all the same. It's organisation, it's administration, it's, process flows. All of those things are just as important as HR as they are in marketing. From an entry-level perspective into HR, the field of HR is very broad. It can be anything from recruitment to payroll to HR operations, which is really employee details and managing those sort of bits and pieces. It could be immigration, if your company is employing people from other countries. It could be learning and development or organisational development and talent management. Or OH&S, health and safety. Huge area of functional areas that sit within HR. My advice to anyone looking to get in at entry level is to start in one of those fields, those functional, because over time you will then get to experience the others and find out which one suits you the best. I myself started in recruitment. I worked as a recruitment consultant for a recruiting agency, so I wasn't in-house. I was recruiting into organisations. And through that is how I sort of got to experience. I went from external recruitment into an internal recruitment function, and then moved around the HR operations to get my experience and become what's classed as a HR generalist, where I know a little bit about every area of HR. And then I found the areas that I really liked and focused on, which is talent management and what we class here in Australia as industrial relations or employment law. So yeah, that's really my advice to you. That was a long answer, but don't underestimate the skills that you're getting, but start applying for those entry-level administrator roles or officer roles in those core functional areas of HR, and you'll very quickly get to move around.
Thank you. I think it's a great valuable. So I just want to summarize. Number one is about you have done a lot of internships, relate to your skill set, prepare your right CV to show that you are focusing in HR. Make it transferable. Create a really great CV for that. Number two, learn the HR business model, because HR has a lot of functions, and you can be specifically have focus 1, 2, 3 top 3 your interest. Maybe not, like maybe some of them are not interest for you. So you focus on that one. And what Kate told before, have multiple version of CV for each of them. Do not send the same CV. Number 3, I mentioned about you could consider about external as well too, not only internal. So you already mentioned about you can join in a recruitment agency, which is a lot more easygoing compared to probably joining a very multinational company in internal HR. So you could think about it, how to go, or maybe you are early, you're students. So that's amazing that this is the time for you when you can start something early. So now probably you can just try to get an internship job directly in HR for use your 6 months to do that, and then bring it on your CV and use it as leverage to get into a multinational company. And and start learning about HR role. So this is going to be very important. Learn the labor law of Vietnam. So that will help you out. Number 6 is you mentioned about, of course, you're going to apply for entry-level job. Don't apply for a senior-level job because that's going to end up anywhere. Because it doesn't mean that you are not going to get it. I just don't want to demotivate you. We're going to get it, but let's prepare for it, enter it, and you can flourish it, and then you can move up. Be patient. Play a game of long-term, not just instant gratification. Moving to the next Q&A. I think this is going to be a very meaningful question. It's related to COVID and unemployment. So the question is coming from Danang, and his name is Fung. So Fung mentioning about, I'm working on tourism industry right now, and I've been laid off for almost 4 months. And I'm really fighting back to get back to the work right now, but it seems like there's not much luck at this stage. So what will be your advice for me to get back to the workforce?
Yeah, hi Fung. I'm sorry. I know it's been a terrible impact on the hospitality industry and many industries, this terrible virus. So I am sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, and I certainly know that you're not alone in that difficult situation. Look, I think Vietnam, like many countries, are struggling right now as to how long is travel restrictions going to be in place. And even when they're lifted, how comfortable are people going to be to travel? So, the reality is it's an industry impact and certainly a difficult situation to be in. My advice to you is to not despair, as easy as that might be. Again, we talk about those transferable skills, without sort of knowing exactly what you are doing. You have an opportunity perhaps to apply those skills in a completely different environment while this slowdown occurs. If you just are looking to sort of keep yourself busy in the interim period and keep yourself working, this may be one of those sort of career sidesteps or opportunities to do something completely different. I'm not saying that's an ideal goal, but it could still be utilized to your advantage if there is an opportunity to transfer the skills you have to another environment. If it's an office-based job for a little while, if it is, whatever it could be that might apply to your existing skills, I would encourage you to do that. Don't waste the time. See what else you might be able to do in this interim period, and I have no doubt the industry will recover. We just don't know the time frame of that. So, I think you're better to be proactive than sit around and wait.
That's a great thing, Fung. I'm really equally or sorry as well, like Kate mentioned about you had to go through this hard time. But look, you got to be optimistic right now because there's a light of hope already. Vietnam is already recovered, and you already know, probably if you're following the news, last week it was tons of tourists out, local tourists, domestic tourists was breaking out in different cities, and it's going to keep going out right now because people was been stagnating in the room for a while, so everybody want to go out and get a refreshness. So international tourism is not going to be opening so soon, so there is a lot of hope for you already. The second thing, actually, relate to your skill set. Maybe you can also find it out of other industry as well too. Like she mentioned about the office jobs, so take it out as a transferable skill and make some different version of CV and do. Number 4 is stay always proactive. Let's don't get passive and then it got demotivated and don't think that you are so in big trouble. So you need beers every morning and every afternoon, every dinner. So that will not be helping you because it's so much negativity. You need to get rid of it. Number 4, I would like to mention on top of it is about building your skill sets about being an entrepreneur. Maybe this is the time for you to build a side project. You have a dream in your life to do something, and you never had a time because you have been so busy doing your career in travel industry. So maybe this is the time to build that side project. You could try it out. Probably this is not going to make money immediately for you. Maybe, I don't know what is your financial situation, how much money you put on to save your life. But probably this is something you could do, and even this will keep you busy and keep you productive, and that will open up a new opportunity. and you can keep finding the new jobs with the related skill set industry what just Kate mentioned about, and then you could keep running both. And that this could be a great, awesome thing, this caveat for you to make your dream project come true, which could keep running as your side project, and you can have a team to do it for you, even you move to another job. It doesn't have to be $1 million business. It could be just $100 a month revenue, small project. You could do it. And I trust me, you're gonna love it, because this is something you dreamed about. So when you're doing your dream thing, human always love it. This is the nature of human. Thank you, Kate, for the answer. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is coming from Hoan. She's from Hanoi. Hoan is saying that the question is, hello, Kate. Thank you very much for sharing those valuable tips. I've been taking notes all the way down during this conversation. Thank you very much. And my question is about, I've been in a recruitment function for 5 years, and I've been really trying to be a recruitment manager, and I've been interviewing for the last 1.5 years, but I could not find it. I could not get selected for the job. What are the advice for you to help me to get out of this deadlock and really move to the next level of recruitment manager?
Hi, Hang. Yeah, it's a tough one without sort of knowing the specific details, because I'd be interested to know, obviously your experience and background and how you're selling that, both in your CV and perhaps your interviews. I suspect your CV is probably good because you're getting invited to interviews. So I think that's probably a big hint that your CV is getting you where you want to be. So perhaps it's about focusing on you selling yourself in your interview and what they are potentially looking for. So I would perhaps think about how you're preparing for your interview. And again, this is general advice without knowing the detail. But I think, generally when you're at that management level, they will be looking for some, or, when you're going for those management roles, is an indication of your ability to manage both people and from a recruitment perspective and contracts, right? So, and, whatever budget or targets you might be looking to get. So I think, if you can focus on really finding, and even if you don't have that experience of managing people yet, or you're getting to that, is working out even, where you have elements of doing that and applying that in your interview responses, so that you can sell that even if you haven't had that direct experience of managing, that you have the capability or the behaviours applicable to do that. So I suspect that's probably what my advice is to focus on those elements, because your CV is doing the job for you to get you to the interview. And I would say it's that interview element that you're just needing to push those forward a little bit more. And that's really around, how can I give you an example of how I've done this without actually having that job title? Yeah, I get that it's very general, but hopefully that helps a little bit.
Thank you, Kate. So the first takeaway is you're getting interview means your CV is good. So don't worry about the CV. Number two, it's all about selling skill now, because now when you're an employee or an entrepreneur, it's all end of the day you're selling a product. When you're an entrepreneur, you're selling your probably pen or probably your smartphone or anything you build. But when you're a professional, you're selling your skill set. So learn your sales skill to sell your skills. Probably this is a good time for you to take a sales training, which you can do even like in our project channel, John Master's Purpose. You can find it in YouTube and you can learn it, how to sell, and that will help you out. Number 4 is actually Kate mentioned previously. Prepare yourself maybe a better way. Maybe just you just are working on the interviews, so you probably need to prepare a little bit more. Number 4 is about you probably don't have a management skill. Experience. Maybe you have it. But it's not in your CV, so they're not getting comfortable with that. End of the day, because maybe there's a lot of people already applying for these companies. So there are 2 things I want to add here. Number 1, maybe you are applying for the job, which is in the company, which company getting a lot of applications, which already had a lot of management level experience already. So maybe you could have a plan B where you think that those companies will be more interested about you, and you can also apply there as well, because as you are looking for a next level on your career. So maybe your strategic applications and company segmentations can help you out to go to the right maybe the company is really looking into it, maybe not interested about your profile, but there are probably a whole lot of other companies could be open for employees and help them to develop them and go to the next level and give them a chance. So you really need to do them research. And for this and doing research, use your friend circle. It's going to help you a lot. Talk to your friends and know about those companies. So it's the best way to prepare anything. When you go to a job interview, ask your friends who already work there or know someone working there, and you can get a lot more information that can help you prepare. And you also know that which company you're going into it. Number four, I really want to mention about, when it comes to experience, you can actually crush it, even doing any management experience. Get into a volunteering job, a nonprofit organization, take a leadership role there, and perform a few projects successfully. Put it on in volunteer sections and put it on in very detailed way, and do more important. Hey, this is the thing people always forget. People just like to get into a nonprofit organization because they just want to put it in their CV. That will not help, because very soon, when the recruitment skill recruiter like a Kat will be in an interview with you, going to figure out what you really do. Or ultimately when they will do the reference check with a nonprofit organization, they're going to figure out you didn't get a good job. And you know what? They will put you in a so black zone in a company. Probably you'll never get a job interview opportunity there. So you want to build a management. So one of the great way I suggest is get into a nonprofit organization, do a stunning work there, wow them with your thing, and build your capabilities. And to wow them, you have to work with your passion, and that will bring up some solid skill set and solid friends, solid networks, solid recommendations, and you can really explain in a job interview what a stunning work you did as a manager into the nonprofit organization. You can have the whole control of the interview rather than the interviewer controlling you. So that's related to the previous point, which actually Kat also mentioned about. It's a conversation. You have to learn how to run the conversation. If interviewer asking one after one question and then you don't know how to drive the conversation, that'll be a problem. That's like a pause and fully stop in a conversation, and that's not always look good. When it comes to management, when you are fresher, it's good. Okay, they know that you're very shy. But when you're looking for a management level look, companies become much more demanding right now. So because the development of human resource has been significant in the last few years, last 10 years in this. Look, you're on 2020. That means 20% of the new century is gone. So many things has been done. Thank you, Kat. And I'll just give you some of my add value. So now I'm sure that if you execute this one, and you will be moving to the next level. Never forget to trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, nobody gonna trust you. The next one, I'm gonna take the next question. This is an interesting question. It's also related to COVID as well. I've been an HR director working from a sizable company, like 100 employees. And because of the COVID situation, our business model gets a real ramp up. So basically, I had to take a very hardcore decision to fire 25% of the workforce, and the rest of the workforce are paying only 25% of the salary. So that's become a big issue for me in terms of morality and passion in my workforce. And as an HR director, I'm fixing that issues right now. I can see that disappointment is everywhere, and even sometimes for me as well too, because I'm also in the same boat, losing 75% of my salary. And when it comes to when I can put it back to 100%, I don't know, because my CEO cannot answer, my CFO cannot answer as well too. So in this situation, what will be your tips for me to motivate back this workforce? Because if these teams will not get motivated, I can only see only one way ticket to bankruptcy of our company, because otherwise there will be an issue. Because if the team got motivated and they do a really great job, we can back to really great shape again. I'm sorry, I don't really want to express my company name and my own name, so we're going to keep it private for yourself.
Yeah, look, I think you're, again, not the only HR director that's struggling with a lot of these issues at this time. Look, there's no easy answer. I think ultimately this is, the term is being utilised. It's unprecedented. It's, the impacts that this is having on operations and on people's careers and on society is massive. The advice that I would give you is to remain an authentic leader. And with that, I mean, be honest about, be true to yourself about how you're feeling, not only about your own situation, but, I guess there's absolutely no better time to be an authentic leader to the staff of the operation that you're working for as well. There's no point pretending things are better than they are. Would be number one. Number two, the more honest and realistic you can be to that workforce, empowers them to make decisions. So, I think if you come from a base of you're not doing this to them, that you're giving them the power to understand what the situation is and make their own decisions, is the biggest gift I think any leader can give. And also recognizing your own situation is adding to that, adding to your general emotional state, I guess, too, and your morality and ethics is being impacted by the fact that you're also financially impacted. And so, there's empathy there, obviously. There's no solution how to get out of that situation. It is what it is. But I think if you're looking to be a strong leader in a very difficult time, there's no better thing you can do than be authentic. So realistic, communicate often, empathetic, acknowledge the pressure that everyone's under, seek input, seek consultation. What can we do to make this better? That's within our control. And perhaps set something that was talked about, set mini goals, even if they're not necessarily feeling like you're achieving anything, but just getting through the day and, it's been an okay day, then that's a goal. So, perhaps you just might want to set yourself some small positive goals to focus on in the short term while you get through this. But being able to empower your people to make their own decisions in this time and what's going to work for them and what's right for them is probably the biggest gift you can give them, I think.
Thank you, Kat, for the input, and thank you for sharing that. Such a great question, actually, because actually not only you, a lot of other HRD actually or HR manager facing such kind of problem. Teachers in Vietnam get a huge impact, 75%. Almost all executives of many other companies listed, travel agency, they even go to 100% reduction of their workforce as well too. So I want to add some few value in this one because I just really feel it about it and the problem, and that can help you out as well too. So Kate already gave you some great inputs as well. Number one is about build and mastermind. So your leadership will be under questions when it comes to a really hardcore situation. What is a leader? If you listen to Jack Ma, he mentioned it multiple times, and I just feel like he's so right on this one. It's about the vision of a leader is this: when you are in a good time, you think about what is a bad time, and you need to deal with that. And when you're in a bad time, you should be looking at the good time, and you see how you can get to the good time. So get your other peoples in your team, which has such kind of mindset of being a leadership. Build a mastermind in your team and work together. Think about the other directors, bring them on board. And share with them and doing a masterminding with them at least 1 or 2 times, because your core team need to be motivated first. So you can do the second thing, which is optimism. You need to spread more optimism, and only way you could do that, what the team can really do to go to that good time. You have to show that good time and that result, and show that your mastermind group, what they're working on to go to the good time, and that will bring the trust back and comfort for your people to get motivation. So again, and I always say this, motivation is not the destination. Motivation is the symptom, all right? So when they're working really well, something, it will go up. So number 2 is about come up with some exciting benefit goals, which you could never thought about. Come up with out of the box. If you're reduction of 25% of the salary, give more benefits, because as an HRD, giving money as a paycheck is not the only benefit you can bring to companies. You can bring them some working from home, extra holiday, less days in a working from. You can come up with different package for them, and still inspire them to think about they are so much underpaid. You need to drive your employees, think about they're not underpaid. They're like only getting 25%, but you can add more values, benefits for them rather than only money, because the revenue is not there. That will inspire them, because they will feel like they're not being going out of thing. Have conversation with other HR director. Other HR director are having similar kind of problem. Talk to them, listen from them what they're doing, and share as well too. The best way to getting input from other peers, you speak first. If you're just waiting for other people taking input, they will take you as a selfish person and they will never share you. Share what you're doing, how it's working for you, and then they will speak up for you as well. Do some coffee talks with other HR talk, have some lunch talks with other people, and you can get inputs as well too. So these are some key talks, but again, in the day, you really need to spread on optimism in your team, and it need to come from your masterminding group. And the last thing I'd like to talk about is this is the right time for you to raise your voice to your CEO as well, or a CFO, about building your business model, the sustainable model. Your model, make them think about, it's a bad time. What is the reason why our business model is so fragile and COVID smashed it down? There's a lot of businesses are making 3x, 4x their revenues. Why? So probably this is the time they could take it on as an input, as a lesson for them to build up probably new products, new business model, the way company running, maybe virtual offices as well too. There's so many things you could do to optimize your business model, because there's a lot of business right now exist with zero office, and the revenue is 10 million, 50 million, 100 million a year. So probably you need to work on your business model too. So they could be innovative in that thing. So these are my key bullet points on top of Kate's sharing. But I really wish you that you will recover soon, and I truly believe myself that this negative period will go out soon. It's going to be back on action. But the ultimate thing is about every bad situation is a lesson for you. So you take it as a lesson, and you can improve your product, yourself, your people, and your culture, and so on. Let me go to the next question. The next question is coming for this one. It's coming from Twin. So Twin asking that I'm in a HR field last 3 years. I'm in recruitment, but I would like to move up to training and development. What will be your advice for me to develop those additional skill to move to that function? I'm really passionate about helping people to be better, get better.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you're in-house. Is that right? Did she mention?
Yes, she's in-house.
Yes, she's in-house. And I'm hoping that there is a training and development team that perhaps is operating that you could potentially get some exposure to. My number one step would be to do that as much as you can. Seek, from your HRD or manager or whoever it is, an opportunity to spend some time with that team as part of your professional development, perhaps, to put that in your development plan and say, look, I want to spend, even if it's, a day, follow them around for a day, or, get a week that you can sort of sit and buddy and observe what it is that they do. Training and development has some sort of unique skill elements involved in it. So obviously there's things such as course design, which requires sometimes some formal training into how to design training courses, how to design assessment practices if you're doing a lot of in-house training. So I would also seek that as part of your development. If you can get access to some in-house or external training that will develop your training skills and knowledge, and then obviously an opportunity to observe, and whenever there is an opportunity to support and assist that team, I would be putting my hand up just to get that first-hand exposure. The more you can let people know that you're interested, if you're in-house, your manager, that team, the first person they'll ask for support will be you, and that is how you learn. So, show your passion and enthusiasm for that area, and you'll certainly be picked up to support that. And then when there's a vacancy within that team environment, you will be obviously pretty well shortlisted and interviewed for that job. If not, and that opportunity doesn't arise, all those other incremental steps that you get or that you take to be involved and show your interest, and any professional learning that you can do or development, you can then potentially take to another employer and get in at that level as well. So step across. I'm not suggesting that you should leave your employer at all, but if that's your passion and you're not given that opportunity where you are, then take those opportunities in-house and then move elsewhere. Nothing should stand in the way of your ultimate dream, but being able to do those incremental steps will just test and make sure that it is where you want to be. You'll get that exposure. Yeah, it'll either definitely say, yes, this is my career path, or you'll go, actually, it's not what I thought it was, and may change your mind. But yeah, look, I just think it is, make it loudly and broadly known that that is what you want to do. Put your hand up for every opportunity. Make sure it's part of your formal and informal professional development to get exposure to that environment. And I have no doubt you'll be well on your way.
Great. This is a very valuable point. I just want to summarize this. I think I have not much thing to add here. I think Kate was been so spot on about this one. So number one is about spend time with the team. Number two is volunteer with them 1 or 2 days. Learn what they're doing. That's the best way. Tell them, hey, I want to work for them. And you know what? You could just do this. Take an annual leave from your job and spend that 2 days with that team. That is a clear indication for the team that what you really want, because that is related to number 6, which is about let them know what you really want. So when you're taking annual leave and you're doing a volunteer with the team, that already gave a clear signal of how much committed you are on that function. So that's my hack. Number 3 is about learn the business model, what they do, what kind of functions they're running into it. Number 4, about you need to learn about some course designing, planning, most likely, and you can do it if you probably in-house. There's some online program is there already. You can take it, or you can take a lot of material. You can go to Coursera, you can go edX, and you can find out, or Udemy, and you can find a lot of things from there. Or even you can just go to YouTube and how to design a course, and there's a lot of great videos. Even you can find in our channel, there's tons of material for that. You can find it as well too. Search YouTube, John Masud Pervez, and you can find it. Number 5 is about let the people know, and I already shared you how amazing the way you can let the people know that you're interested about it, because when you're not speaking, not expressing, not doing, and I think this is the thing I really want to do it is when you speak, it's good, but when you take action, that really convinces people what you really want to do. So take actions. So that's why I say that annual leave, put that 1 days, be with them. They know that how passionate you are, how committed you are. But maybe you want to do this one after doing some course design thing. Don't look so newbies when you go there. Go with a little more values, like 2 days you're not just sitting down, but hey, can I give you a hand on this course you're designing? And then they'll say, oh, all right, this girl already bringing something into the team. And number 6, stay passionate, which Kate just mentioned about. Sometimes it's just not, headcount is not there. Maybe they really need someone, but just simply don't have a headcount right now. And probably the end of the year it will appear, and then you're ready and you move in. And number 7 is, Kate also mentioned about, you can look externally as well too, but only do it when you finish the top 6, because there's no point to look bad in an interview when you are not ready. You have to something to show, to sell yourself, right? So after point 6, if you do 7 externally, probably you're going to kill it and you're going to get that role. Probably going to be last question of the day, guys, because it's already 1.5 hours and Kate has been so passionate to answering your all questions. So this is the last question, and I think this is a stunning question as well too, and I'm so glad that you asked. The question is coming from Alex. Alex is working in Vietnam. So the question is this: I'm going for a C-suite level in a corporate role in Vietnam. What will be your advice for my dress up in the interview? And what will be advice? How do I should dress in interview in C-suite level? And what should be my first 2 minutes talk about? Because I hear a lot about first 1 to 2 minutes is one of the key thing in interview.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with the number 1, dress. Yeah. look, I don't know how much you all might know about unconscious bias, but first impressions are not only a real thing, but it's something that interviewers and every single human can't prevent happening. So the minute you meet someone, I think it's 1/25th of a second. It's a tiny, tiny amount of time before someone has made their opinion, has already made a decision about you or an assumption about you. So you don't have it long at all to make a good impression. Number one, dress. Yeah, look, if it's a C-suite role, the assumption would be corporate. Yeah, suit, very professionally presented, hair done well, not like mine today. Obviously well presented, very well presented suit. However, I'll put a note on that says it might depend on the company. A lot of creative companies, creative agencies, IT, startups may not have that environment. So I think do your research, obviously. If you're going for a job, I'm assuming if you're going for a C-suite role, you know the company really well. You've already done that research about what the job is, what the company is trying to achieve, what their strategy is. So you should have a pretty clear indication already about what their culture might be and what they might expect you to wear. Do the research, see if you can speak to someone. But my initial instinct is, when in doubt, suit. Or certainly corporate or professional presentation, when in doubt. And as far as what you should do in your first impressions, look, 1,001 different people will give you 1,001 different ideas on this. The number one thing is be yourself. I mean, there's no point presenting someone that you're not to an interview, because they will find you out very quickly. It's to be as relaxed as you can. So if that means you need to take some very deep breaths and go through that process of calming down and easing your nerves, then absolutely do that. There are many ways you can ease those nerves, whether it's a deep breathing exercises, whether it's sort of shaking off and using some nervous energy, going for a quick jog on the spot before you walk into the office. These things just ease that nervous energy and can help you relax. But, smile, professional presentation, polite, formal is obviously your first 30 seconds is when they're taking all the information they have in from you, your facial expression, your body language, your comfort and confidence levels at that C-suite level are critical. You're there for a critical function for their operation. They're going to want to know that you can show a certain level of confidence and can present yourself professionally if you're going to be representing them externally. So critical. And then as you get into it, again, remain that professional relaxation. You know your stuff. You're going for a C-suite job. You know your stuff. You know you're technically sound. Have confidence in that. And be ready to respond that, and be ready to ask questions. You cannot go to a C-suite interview without questions about strategy, about perhaps what challenges they're facing, what steps they're taking. All of those bits are showing that you're thinking strategically about their operation. And exactly as we said before, it's unlikely to be one interview. You'll probably have 2, 3, possibly more, and you may get to meet a whole different range of people. But I would be very confident that one of those would be asking you to design a strategic plan for a set given a time, or presented with a problem that they have that they might want you to resolve, and how you go about that. So going into those roles, you have to be ready to think strategically and apply your technical knowledge, but also industry knowledge, and look at how you would do that creatively to sell yourself.
Thank you, Kit. It's a great input for Alex, actually. So Alex, you have seen what Kit just mentioned. It's just a great valuable. She actually mentioned a lot of things. From my side, I will add this way on top of it, some addition into it is, if you look at the world, 19th century, so first 75 years, almost all the books came out about building changing people core and make internally. And the last 25 years old, the books was made about changing personality, how to smile, how to be doing interview. So for my thing, what I really figured out that you really need to work on in your character. So which is like, you need to build your character rather than just building your just how to talk and how to smile. Those are like make you look like a dual face, that make you dual face. That means if you build a character of yourself, this confidence, smile, all these things will appear in you as an unconsciously competent. So this is what I'm saying. So so if you are going for C-suite, if you could build up your character as your design and unconsciously competent by setting up your new core, will really, really help you. So that means you don't need to pay attention then much about your smile, confidence, because when you're confident, you have to be very careful. You shouldn't be looking arrogant as well too. You have to be very respectful. You have to be very professional as well too. So building a character is thing. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. You can actually do a lot of research, and you can see what kind of, because maybe I don't know that you've been working at C-suite before or not, or is it your first time you're looking for C-suite? So if you're looking for a C-suite role and never been a C-suite before, maybe you need to look into it. Because when you come to the C-suite, there's not a lot of position. And if you go to 10 interviews already, maybe the rest of the industry already know who you are, because all these people network each other, talk about each other, and probably they know about you. So my advice would be prepare really well that if you're going to the C-suite level, build your character. And what just Kate mentioned was amazing. You really need to dress up, suit up, do your research about the company. So like Kate mentioned about, if you go into a company which is like startup, which is like a t-shirt and jeans and or even shorts culture, you should do that as well. But my advice in this one, it's always good to be overdressed rather than underdressed. When you underdress, your confidence level is really under the table, and it's very hard for you to be confident. It's just human nature. So unless you are like a talented person like a Socrates, and they're different. And one last example: follow a great C-suite. See that how they talk about, how they interact with you. Maybe you have a lot of ideals in your life. You can learn from them as well too. All the best, Alex. I'm sure that you've been doing great work in your career, and send us a message when you get a first interview or first job in C-suite. Send us a message or email us. I will love to give you a congratulations and heads up. And if you could let us know that how this kit and my advice helped you in that journey, we will be very happy to know. Thank you, Kate, for putting all this effort together and add this brilliant values for this community, for helping it out. By the way, I just want to say that, hey, Kate is in Australia, and she's all the way from Australia as adding value for all of you guys. I really appreciate. Kate, do you want to say before we close up to the audience?
No, look, thank you very much for having me. And anyone who's listening, I really wish you all the best with your careers. The thing is that it's a moving beast. You know, your goals will change, and you know, but if you know what you want, there are a lot of different ways to get there. So certainly don't give up if you're the first knock. You know, you just keep plowing through, and you will get there. So good luck to you all, and thank you very much for having me. I hope it's been of some assistance.
I'm sure it has been a great value for the audience, and I have been already started to receive some great comments. Some said that thank you very much, Kate. Hoan saying that wonderful session. I will watch it again in the YouTube. I'm going to share it with other friends. There's other comments coming out for Kang. Kang is saying that I love it. Thank you very much. The comment coming out from the person from the Danang replying that thank you very much for your inspiration. So there's a lot of comments coming out. So thank you very much, Kate, and we'd love to have you again in our session. I think probably one of the sessions we could do in the future is about how to build a great CV, and I think that's something your expertise is like an unconsciously competent level, and that can really help other people.
Absolutely, happy to, very happy to, anytime.
Thank you very much, Kate. Have a good day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye all.
All right, guys. We're going to do the streaming again very soon. Stay with us, and myself, John, will get back to you the next sessions in a few days. And let's use this thing that you have learned from us to your career, because all the thing we want, you take this value, learn from it, and execute in your life so you can be successful, so you can take care of yourself, make your dream come true, take care of your family, and take care of other people in the community. I love you all, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye. See you soon.